Hey guys, it's Brijette with Sanity Seed Company, and I'm here on the farm in Ramona, California, and it's June, and we're doing a lot of harvesting, including our garlic. This video is going to be all about garlic, but I'm really going to focus heavily on when you harvest it because it's the thing that people get wrong the most in zone 9 and 10. So if you watch this whole video, you're going to know when you plant garlic for zone 9 and 10, how you plant it, irrigation tips, and the most important part, how to wait until the right time to harvest so you get the best flavor and quality out of your garlic. Okay, so you might be thinking, garlic is really cheap in the store. Why in the world would I grow it? Well, the answer is always flavor. You can get incredibly flavored garlic only that you grow in your garden or on your farm, because really the garlic that you get in the store is usually one, maybe two varieties. In fact, most of the garlic that we get here in Southern California is a California early like variety, and it's good. I mean, it's okay, but it's nothing like the varieties that you can grow in the garden. Additionally, fresh garlic that you've harvested is so flavorful and amazing. And if you like garlic, give it a try. There's not a whole lot you need to know except when to plant it, some irrigation tips, and when to harvest it. So let's get into the when to plant it. So we are actually here on the farm. It's June. These bad boys went into the ground around Halloween, maybe a little bit past Halloween. These guys were vernalized. And what that means is they were actually placed into a refrigerator for about 30 days before planting. Now, why would we do that? Well, similarly to like a tulip or any plant that needs to receive cold to sprout, we do that to garlic to make sure that we're going to get really good sprouting on all of the cloves so that we get lots of garlic on the farm or in the garden. The risk of not doing that is you may get some garlic that simply doesn't sprout because we might have a really warm winter here in zone 9 and 10. So we put it in the fridge for around 30 days. It doesn't have to be exact. And now, fun little fact, this is why when you take your garlic and you store it in the fridge and then you leave it on the counter and you forget to put it back, it sprouts immediately because it's going from a cold environment to your countertop, which is probably like ambient temperature, and that triggers the clove to go, hey, it's springtime, it's time to sprout. Now, the reason why we plant it in the fall is because we want to have a very long growing period to tell these plants to grow really nice bulbs. Now, let's look at the patterns here. What other crops do we plant in the fall that we want to have bulbing onions? And that's because we want them to grow during a time of the year where the sunlight is getting shorter, the days are getting shorter. And then as soon as we get longer days, it triggers the plant to say, hey, make your bulb. Make your onion bulb or make your garlic bulb, right? You're actually your head of garlic that you want. They're in the same family, they grow very similarly, and that is why we do it. If you plant your garlic too late in the year, say you do it like early spring, you're gonna get really little heads because there's not a lot of extra time for them to grow. So another reason why I love growing in zone 9 and 10, we don't get hard frost, you can plant these in the fall. So these got planted in October. They look terrible, but this is the reality of what garlic's gonna look like after having been in the ground for October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, well, 9 months. They've been in the ground for almost 9 months and now they're ready to harvest. I have not done a whole lot of extra prep to these guys. I put them in the ground, they're on irrigation, they got a light dosing of a granular fertilizer when we planted them. And the only other thing that I have done to these guys is I turned off the irrigation about 4 weeks ago. Now I did that because I want the soil to dry and I want the papers to harden so that I get a nice, good, clean bulb. Now let me back up real quick and just talk about what this is. So there is a common misconception in Southern California in zone 9 and 10 that you cannot grow soft neck garlic. I don't know where that came up. Somebody on Reddit wrote it once and it just stuck. Not true. You can grow hard neck and soft neck just as easily in Southern California in zone 9 and 10. There's just two main differences in hard neck and soft neck. Hard neck will give you escape. Now this is actually a delicacy that you can eat, you can put on the grill, it's really good. Most people cut it when it's young and immature, and now this is hard neck garlic. It's got a hard neck, right? Now come over, well, let's see, come down here, and we've got some soft neck. No scapes, the necks have already fallen over, and just as the name suggests, the neck is soft. Now this particular type of garlic it's even more important that you turn off the irrigation, because if you keep the irrigation running all the way up until harvest point, it's more likely to rot because it's got a soft neck and the papers are really soft, and you'll actually lose cloves in the soil because the plant just starts to fall apart. Now I'm going to dig up both varieties so you can actually see what that looks like, but just remember, the big takeaway here is hardneck and softneck work wonderfully in zone 9 and 10. Okay, so let's actually get into harvesting here. So we turned off the water, the soil's been dry, we've gotten a little late rain, but nothing major. Now I want to harvest them. With a hardneck, you could, if you wanted to, try to just pull these guys up like this, but you risk breaking the actual neck on here and losing the bulb. What I like to do is just take a pitchfork and get as close as I can without hitting the bulb and just gently kind of break it up so that I can pull it out nice and easy. All right, so you can see these guys a little bit on the smaller side, but that is a-okay. Now, since we got some late season rain, you're actually gonna see the papers are still pretty wet. And this is what you fear when you keep running the irrigation over and over and over, is that these papers will basically disintegrate. You're more likely to get disease in here and rot your actual bulbs. The beauty of garlic too is I can simply leave these in the ground until I need them. As long as I'm not getting any like gopher damage or anything else, there's no reason for me to go through and harvest all this at once. Oh, there's a beauty. Look at that. I don't know why I just sounded like a pirate. I'm sorry. Harvesting does weird things to me. But look at that. That's beautiful. That is almost perfect. To go ahead and just eat this right now, it's okay, but the garlic flavor is going to be kind of watery. And also it's gonna be hard to peel because you want the paper to start to pull away from the individual cloves. So these are gonna be cured the same way you cure bulbing onions and potatoes and garlic. I'm just gonna put these in front of a box fan, single layer. I actually don't like to braid them because a lot of work. They go in a box that has a screen bottom, 1 by 1 next to each other, not too crowded, and a box fan on top, out of direct sunlight, because that's really important. And you can, if you want to, take this off, but honestly, I am always in so much of a hurry and have too much to do that we don't take this off initially. I'll wait till they've dried because it's a great, easy way to handle a bunch of these. And then once they're ready, I can cut it wherever I want for final storage in my kitchen. If you have grown a lot of it, which usually happens when you grow your garlic, you're probably not gonna be able to eat it all at once. Do not store it in the fridge, because when you store it in the fridge and then pull it out to eat it and then put it back, because you probably are not gonna eat this whole head of garlic, you're actually gonna initiate the sprouting process, which we don't want. The best thing is just to leave it on a counter. It'll fill the room with a delicious fragrant smell of garlic, and they're really just gonna keep very well as long as there's good airflow. Now let's quickly look at the soft neck so we can compare how they look. We've got soft neck, which we can tell because there's no scapes on it. They're starting to fall down. I've actually harvested quite a bit of soft neck here. And this is ever more important that you don't just pull on this, because this is just gonna pull out and you're gonna lose all your cloves in the soil. Use my pitchfork here, make it down. Oh, see, look, I lost some cloves, but that's okay. These guys are still gonna dry beautifully. And now look, see how the soft neck is? The neck is just falling apart because we got some late season rains. So what I would do is take this, I might take a little bit of this excess off. Again, like potatoes, do not wash this. You can shake the excess off if you want, but do not wash it and lay these out to dry. A nice thing about soft neck is they're really easy to get individual cloves, whereas hard necks tend to be a little bit tighter together and a little bit harder to peel. So each variety has its own virtues that make it really good. Grow them all because it's so much fun. You'll find that the Sicilian tastes totally different than the Ivan. The Enchilium Red tastes totally different than the California Early. They all have their own flavor profiles and their own virtues that make them amazing. The one thing they all have in common is they're delicious. Okay, so if you're a grower in zone 9 and 10, please subscribe to our channel. We're one of the few YouTube channels that really focuses on growing in our very unique zone, and we produce videos specifically on that so you can be as successful as possible. I would also love it if you commented on this video of what your favorite garlic varieties are. Maybe there's a new one we need to start carrying that I don't even know about. So comment so that I can start researching and enjoy the bounty of all the different types of garlic that we can grow on the farm. Okay, so the most important thing you need to know about harvesting garlic is not to harvest it too early. I know it's so easy to want to harvest it first thing in the spring, but you're missing out on the most important days and months of flavor development for really good garlic. So make sure you turn off your irrigation 4 to 6 weeks before you're going to harvest and leave it in the ground as long as possible so that you can get condensed flavor, really good paper, and nice, beautiful bulbs. Okay, so the big question you're thinking was, well, when do I order garlic? Well, we take pre-orders for garlic starting as early as June, and guess what? We're already taking pre-orders this year. We are so organized. So you can actually put your order in to reserve your garlic, because once we get it out of the ground and into the package, we send them out and then they're gone for the year and we have no more garlic. So you order your garlic in the fall. If you can plant it around Halloween, great, and then you'll be harvesting it by summer.